Hello and welcome to The Deep Dive. Today we're tackling a pretty major story, one that's really sending ripples through the music industry. We're looking at the ongoing federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. We've gone through, the news reports, the legal analyses. Our mission here is to pull out the key developments and try to understand why this trial is, well, significant beyond just this one individual.
Absolutely. And I think beyond the shocking nature of the allegations themselves, what's really significant is how this trial seems to be pulling back the curtain, pulling it back on the often unchecked power structures within the music industry. We're seeing a stark example of how fame and fortune can allegedly create an environment where abuse might thrive and, importantly, be concealed.
Okay, so let's get into the specifics then. Central to all of this are the detailed claims from Cassie Ventura. What exactly did she allege in her testimony?
Well, Cassie Ventura's account was extensive. It described years of alleged physical, sexual, and emotional abuse. She detailed these really disturbing freak-off parties. She claimed escorts were present, rampant drug use, an environment where, consent became dangerously blurred. This led to, she alleges, significant trauma, blackouts, even PTSD. And she also mentioned these deeply concerning threats, threats regarding private videos, which she felt were basically used to control her.
Wow. And importantly, it's not just her word against his, right? There have been other testimonies.
That's right. Others have come forward. The testimonies of Dawn Richard and Carrie Morgan add significant weight, potentially, to Cassie's narrative. Dawn Richard, you might remember her from Danity Kane, stated she actually witnessed Combs abusing Cassie. And she described this pervasive atmosphere of intimidation around him.
Okay.
Then you have Carrie Morgan, who recounted her own alleged physical assault by Combs. And she also seemed to corroborate the claims about hush money being offered, to keep people quiet.
So beyond these personal accounts, which were incredibly powerful, what about other forms of evidence? Physical, digital?
Yeah, the prosecution seems to be building a case with more than just testimony. They've presented evidence including photos allegedly documenting injuries sustained by Cassie. And then there are the items reportedly found in Combs' possession, things like baby oil, sex aids, controlled substances, large amounts of cash. Perhaps even more revealing, though, are the emails that have surfaced. These allegedly show Combs using aliases and discussing, sexual materials and making arrangements for these freak-offs.
Okay, so that's the prosecution side. Now, the defense obviously paints a very different picture. What's their core argument here?
Right. The defense contends that the interactions being described were consensual. They're framing it as part of a mutually agreed upon, maybe alternative lifestyle. Their strategy appears to be acknowledging that, Combs might have personal flaws, maybe made mistakes, but arguing that his actions don't rise to the level of federal crimes.
Okay, and this is where, for me at least, it gets really interesting because this trial feels like more than just about Sean Combs' guilt or innocence. It feels like a potentially pivotal moment.
Absolutely. I think that's the key takeaway. If we zoom out, connect this to the bigger picture, this trial has really become a flashpoint for what feels like a long overdue reckoning within the music industry, specifically around abuse and the issue of celebrity impunity. I mean, Sean Combs isn't just any celebrity. He's a towering figure, right?
Yeah.
Built an empire, launched huge careers, wielded immense influence for decades.
So those power dynamics you mentioned earlier, they're really central to understanding the broader significance here.
Precisely. That's the argument being made, that this immense power allegedly fostered a culture of, fear and protection around Combs, potentially allowing the alleged abuses to continue unchecked for, years. Cassie Ventura's alleged silence for so long, it kind of highlights the immense pressure and maybe fear someone in her position might face. Thinking about speaking out against someone that powerful?
Yeah, you can imagine.
So her decision to come forward now, especially backed by corroborating accounts and this other evidence, it really compels us, I think, to confront what can be hidden behind that veneer of fame and wealth.
And what about the role of things like NDAs, non-disclosure agreements, and settlements? That seems to raise some serious ethical questions, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely. This brings up a crucial point about the ethics, and the legal side, too, of NDAs and payments allegedly used to silence victims. Now, look, these agreements can have legitimate purposes in business, but there is a real concern they can be weaponized, used to enable systemic abuse by basically preventing victims from seeking justice or holding alleged perpetrators accountable. You see?
Right. It keeps everything hidden.
Exactly. And the parallels people are drawing now to cases like Harvey Weinstein or Kelly, I don't think that's accidental. It suggests we might be seeing a paradigm shift, where that traditional shield of celebrity is maybe starting to crack.
So looking forward then, what kind of impact could the actual outcome of this trial have on the wider industry?
Well, a conviction here that could send a really profound message, a message throughout the entire entertainment world, frankly. It could signal that this long-standing practice of just looking the other way, maybe that era is ending. And that even the most powerful individuals might not be exempt from accountability anymore.
So as we wrap up, I think it's crucial to reiterate that regardless of anyone's power or status, survivors deserve to be heard, to be believed. This trial, really at its core, it feels like it's about the pursuit of justice for Cassie Ventura and potentially for others who may have been silenced by, well, by power.
And while the legal system itself will determine Combs' fate based on the evidence presented, society as a whole is also watching. We're evaluating, aren't we, how far we've actually come in holding powerful people accountable for their actions.
A really important point. Well, thank you for taking this deep dive with us today. It's obviously a complex situation, many layers to it, and we really encourage you, the listener, to continue considering these dynamics of power, fame, and accountability. We look forward to having you join us for our next deep dive.